Well, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation exhumed 2 bodies today in Lansing, Kansas. The men were executed in 1959. Truman Capote wrote about them in his novel, In Cold Blood.
Investigators believe getting their DNA could solve a quadruple homicide in Florida. Naja Sherman is live at Mount Muncie Cemetery in Lansing.
Good afternoon, Krista. At the request of Florida officials, the bodies of 2 infamous murderers were exhumed from this cemetery earlier this morning. Dug up from their resting place, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation exhumed the bodies of Richard Hickok and Perry Smith. The 2 men were executed for the murders of Herb and Bonnie Clutter and their children in Holcomb, Kansas. The brutal murders happened on November 15, 1959.
Samples were collected for DNA analysis. Those will be taken to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation Forensic Laboratory for examination.
Smith and Hickok turned up in Florida after the Kansas murders. A Sarasota County Sheriff's detective will determine whether the 2 also killed Cliff and Christine Walker and their 2 young children. That crime happened about a month later on December 19, 1959 at their home northwest of Miami.
I have seen newspaper articles from January 1960 where the Sarasota Sheriff was contacting the Kansas Bureau of Investigation Director asking for information about that case. So Hickok and Smith have been identified as suspects all along in this case.
Gene Kirby is the manager of the cemetery. He's worked here for about 15 years and says from time to time over the years, tourists stop by to see the infamous grave sites, but he says interest died off until now.
I got a call from a reporter wanting me to comment on the story, and I hadn't heard anything about it. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Officials say with the latest technology and DNA testing, they may know whether these 2 cases are connected in as soon as 3 weeks. There are still living members of the Walker family, so any sort of conclusion or connection in this case could provide some closure. Reporting live in Lansing, Naja Sherman, 41 Action News.